Virginia's defense has it back atop the ACC, but can they ride it to the Final Four? Charlottesville, in its most recent game on Tuesday night, the second-ranked Virginia men's basketball team did not permit number 18 Clemson to score for nearly 8 minutes in the second half, when it yielded just 13 points overall, on the way to a 61-36 victory. The Cavaliers surrendered their fewest points this season, limited the visiting Tigers to 32% shooting, including 3 for 20, 15%, from three-point range, forced 19 turnovers and collected 14 steals, also a single-game high. It was textbook execution of a familiar defensive blueprint under Coach Tony Bennett, who has Virginia, 19-1, 8-0, off to its best start in the ACC since 1980-81 and winners of 11 in a row heading into Saturday's anticipated showdown with number 4 Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium. A victory would further validate Virginia as a potential number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And that is where the Cavaliers' consistently successful model invites some skepticism. Virginia regularly leads the country in some of the most meaningful defensive categories. It has been a number 1 or 2 seed in the NCAA tournament in 4 of the previous 5 seasons. But only once in that period has it advanced past the Sweet 16, and the program has not reached the Final Four since 1984. I think this year this team can be really successful, said Jay Bilas, ESPN's lead men's college basketball analyst, when asked if this edition is a viable Final Four contender. I don't think there are very many teams that even have a chance to be great teams this year. This year very good can be good enough. Right now the only teams I'd say that have a chance to be legitimately better than Virginia at the end of the year are Villanova, Purdue, Michigan State and probably Duke. Like Duke is the best offensive team, and it's not a close call. They're just not there defensively. Bracketology, Cavs are a number 1 seed in latest tournament projection. Virginia, as usual, certainly is, with some of the metrics indicating this iteration may be Bennett's best yet, eclipsing the 2015-16 team that went 29-8 led by Malcolm Brogdon, the 2-time ACC Defensive Player of the Year. That top-seeded team lost in the region finals to Syracuse, 68-62, after blowing a 16-point lead in the second half. This season the Cavaliers are first nationally in scoring defense, 51.6 points allowed per game, second in field goal percentage defense, 36.4, and seventh in three-point field goal percentage defense, 29.1. In 2015-16, Virginia gave up 60.1 points per game, 42% shooting overall and 34.7% from beyond the arc. They also averaged more steals and turnovers forced in addition to being first in adjusted defense and efficiency ratings posted by the analytical website KenPom.com, although Virginia still has demanding road games left against not only the Blue Devils but also Florida State, Syracuse, Miami and Louisville. We grind every day, and we work on defense, Virginia sophomore guard Kyle Guy said. We preach it. When we get back, and we rebound and do our job, it's hard for anybody to score on us, so when we are hitting on all cylinders, it's actually really fun to play defense like that. But what also stands out about this version of the Cavaliers, at least according to 6'5" guard Devon Hall, a starter the last 3 seasons, is uncommon offensive balance and depth. 6 players have led Virginia in scoring this season, and 7 average at least 5 points per game. Not an insignificant figure given the Cavaliers' deliberate pace of play, the slowest in the nation, according to KenPom.com. In 2015-16, 3 players led Virginia in scoring in all but 2 of 37 games, and that team included just 4 players who averaged at least 5 points. This season the Cavaliers are shooting 47% overall and 39.4% from three-point range, the second highest percentage in team history. Their 77% shooting from the free throw line ranks first in program history. I think we're just really conscientious, and we scramble for each other," said Hall, the Cavaliers' second leading scorer, 12.7 per game, who's first in three-point field goal percentage, 47.2, and second in three-point baskets, 34. "We fight for each other. I'm not saying the other teams didn't that were here, but scrambling and fighting and trying to cover for each other if we make a mistake is a big part of what we do." Virginia also has experience, despite the fact that 3 players transferred out of school after last season. Hall is among 5 players in the regular rotation who have either redshirted or came in as a graduate transfer, particularly off the bench. Redshirt freshman D'Andre Hunter has provided the most significant contributions as a reserve. The 6'7" guard forward has scored in double figures in 5 of the past 7 games, most recently with 17 points and a 64-48 road win against Georgia Tech on January 18. Hunter, whom Bilas called a difference maker, produced one of the highlight reel moments this season with a dunk over 10th ranked North Carolina's Joel Berry II in a 61-49 dismantling of the reigning national champions on January 6 at John Paul Jones Arena. "The thing that I think you don't realize when you see Virginia, they're big," Clemson coach Brad Brownell said. "Their guards are big. They have size. They bring tremendous athleticism off the bench. This is an older group, too. They're extremely well coached in what they do." The most daunting test of Virginia's defensive mettle, at least during the regular season, comes against the Blue Devils, who lead the country in scoring, 91.7, and are 5th and 6th, respectively, in field goal percentage, 51%, and scoring margin, plus 19 per game. Duke has won 5 in a row since losing to North Carolina State, 96-85, when the Blue Devils were ranked 2nd. They have 5 players averaging at least 11.5 points, most notably 6'11" freshman forward Marvin Bagley III, 21.6 points, 11.5 rebounds, a consensus NBA lottery pick. The Blue Devils have won 15 straight at home dating from last season. "We have said this game is significant. It's the only game we're playing, so it's important," Bennett said. "I don't know what our ceiling is or anything like that. I think there's a special synergy with our group. There's individual talent, but I love saying the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. We have some really great parts, but there's something going on with that synergy." More college sports coverage. Michigan State athletic director announces retirement amid Larry Nassar scandal. Kentucky basketball is an enigma well into the season. What else should we expect? Kevin Ollie already was on the hot seat, and now Connecticut is under NCAA